Hey guys, my name's Gavin. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this cool melodic ambient guitar loop inside of FL Studio. Kind of sounds like something a person like MIRA would make, intended for like an artist like WRLD, Trippie, Iann Dior, kind of up that category. So yeah, before we get into the video, I'd just like to thank every one of you guys that are subscribing as of late. It means a lot to me. We're quickly approaching 2,000, so I have something in store for when we hit 2,000. And also, I want to start live streaming on Twitch or Instagram Live. I want to know your guys' opinions on that down below. Which one you think I should do it on? Because I want to start giving a little bit more videos for the people that would like it if I could go from scratch a little bit more. Because I'm like gonna repost the live streams if I do it on Twitch, on YouTube. You guys can watch the whole process via those live streams. So yeah, I think that's about it. We can do our dart throw and then we can get into things. So last time was a severe off day. See what we got today. Not bad, not good. We're gonna get the bullseye eventually, just stick with me, it'll happen. But getting into this loop now, there's like one main thing that I really want to talk about today, and it's simplicity and this cool way of doing that with guitars. So yeah, let's do it. So I'm gonna play you guys the final loop before we do anything further. So that is the melody, and it all started actually on an FL Keys piano. I had my friend Miles go in and play this pattern out onto an actual guitar, and this is what this pattern sounds like. We don't have to worry about these top notes for a second. We'll get into those in a little bit. The main portion of this melody is found right here, though, within the chords. So like throughout my producer journey, like I've had a bunch of different phases with melodies. I had phases where I was trying to do a lot with top melodies, and in the end, I don't think it really ended up working out too well. So I like melodies like these. They're simple. They have a good direction, and I feel like an easy way to do that is found within the chords here. You can see they're all arpeggiated. And like what I mean by arpeggiated, like these guys. Just notes in the chord, just playing multiple times basically. This whole portion here just loops, except I bring the bottom note down a little bit each time within the scale. We're in the D sharp minor scale. Kind of take out a little bit of notes right here, so it almost feels like it resolves a little bit. And I drop all the way down to the F sharp. This is something you can do that's cool in your chord progressions, dropping down to whatever the note, like 7 notes down or whatever. I just think this one gives a really cool feeling when you do that. Otherwise this pattern stays the same for the most part, and I leave it at the F sharp. And I go back up to the C sharp because I think it did a really good job leading back up to the D sharp. And I have these notes right here. I have a grace note here. That wasn't actually played on the guitar, but in the piano version it is there. This whole section I just thought did a really good job leading back up into this chord. It's like the top note is like one of the most like prominent, like noticeable notes in a chord, and we have this F sharp, boom, boom, and as you can hear, this, I don't know if this is making more sense to anyone else, but for me, leading back up the scale, this would be the next note that my ear would hear, and it starts the sequence. So yeah, for the top line, just picking out super simple notes, going down the scale, working back up a little bit. Basically, it's the same thing over and over. It's this, except just for this part, I raise this F sharp back up to an A sharp. And yeah, so now Miles played that on an actual guitar. This is what it sounds like. We have the rhythm here, so just the chords and then the top line. I didn't really add any effects. I just added a little bit of reverb to the top line just to give it a little bit more reverb, make it sound a little bit more spacious. Now after that, the melody is basically done. I like to keep it really simple. But we have this whistle here. Alright, so these are called chromatic notes. They're really good for giving a sad feeling. I talk about it in like every single one of my videos, but they're just notes that are right next to each other in a minor scale. I use them all the time in like every single video, and I think they just did a really good job helping bring this melody to life, giving it a little bit more emotion, because they almost like create tension, which is also a super cool thing to do in your melodies to make them sound a lot more emotional. And another thing I talk about is dropping down when you use these notes, dropping down to whatever is 4 lower. I do that all the time too. And that did a really good job transitioning back to this A sharp, in my opinion. So yeah, I really wanted to make sure this melody wrapped up super well. It was just loopable. I feel like some melodies don't really end on like a, I don't know, a good note. Like I feel like this C sharp just does a really good job transitioning back down to the A sharp. I added a bunch of effects to it though. I treated it kind of like how I treat my vocals. We'll talk about that in a second when I get into the vocals, but we just have like a kind of like just a hill, cutting out high end and low end, making it sound like it's underwater. Bunch of reverb here, just default Valhalla vintage reverb presets, and then little altar boy, and I pitch it up an octave. This is what it sounds like before and after. So you can hear it's kind of like a little bit more quiet, and there's a little bit of that pitch increase that's like blended in. So I messed with the mix knob right here to help blend it in. I could not get that out, but I think that's one of my favorite parts of the sample. It's just how this blends in with the guitar itself. And now I have this bass line here. It's a one shot that I made. It's like a sub bass and like a vocal that I did. Adds a lot of texture to loops and stuff. So it's just following the bass line. Yeah, and now the last element to this sample is just a super simple vocal that I did. And if you guys are new to the channel and you don't know how I do this, basically I loop this pattern a bunch of times and I sing it to the microphone with auto-tune on my voice, like super powerful auto-tune. Like I'm not trying to make an actual song here, I'm just trying to get my notes out. So this is what the vocal sounds like. That's what it sounds like before I add any effects onto it. You can see it can be pretty choppy and it can cut off kind of abruptly because the reverbs and stuff that I add on really like save that. This one makes it sound like it's underwater. This one adds a lot of reverb to it. It's really make it sound a little bit more like up front. I turn the separation knob here to the left instead of to the right. And I just turn the wet all the way up and the dry all the way back. And I have this little altar boy here up an octave too with the pitch here, just to give it a little bit more high frequencies. So yeah, that's basically it for that melody, and that wraps up the entire loop. I'll play it again and I'll show you the last things that I did down here. We wanted to add a little bit more to the sample. To do that, we just added this really simple top line on an electric guitar. This is what it sounds like. And then to give it a little bit more high presence, I added muffled up octave from Crystallizer, bringing out a little bit of like artificial high end in it. Kind of sounds like a bell. But yeah, that is now it. I rendered them all out. I just have two sections here, one with and one without the top line. And I just have one sound playing at a time. That gets rendered out into this. Then I duplicate one underneath it, make it unique as a sample, and then put the pitch up an octave. Now these are our two ones. This is just the rendered out one without any pitch changes, and this is the one up an octave. That's what it sounds like before anything. Then after, I treat it kind of like a vocal again, do that same kind of processing. It didn't mess with the separation at all this time though. This is what it sounds like. And I open up a fruity parametric EQ and mess around with these frequencies slightly just to make it sound like a tape emulation plugin. I do this all the time and I talk about it in a bunch of videos. Basically, if you just mess with these knobs slightly, you can bring out a little bit of white noise and make it sound a little bit more grainy. And as you can see here, it's a little bit more of a better visual down here. You can see it. I slightly just messed with the EQ and got it to sound like that. So yeah, now that's basically it for the video. I hope you guys were able to learn something today. Hope you were able to improve your samples in some sort of way or the other. Comment down below what you guys would like to see next from me, and also comment down below if you want me to start streaming again, because I really want to do that. I want to get a bunch of guys in there and have a good time. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.